Tucker Carlson has responded in quite the dishonest way to the arrest of Jack Teixeira, the suspected leaker of classified information, 21-year-old National Guardsman who, it seems, was trying to be cool in a Discord chat and was sending classified documents about sensitive subjects. Very strange. Tucker Carlson is running with the narrative that Jack Teixeira is a hero. And the Biden administration, the Biden regime, as Marjorie Greene calls it, in a tweet that we'll get to echoing the same narrative, is going after Jack Teixeira because he's revealing the truth about Ukraine, what the Biden administration didn't want you to know. And Tucker Carlson tells a lie. So blatant, by the way, that even a Fox News correspondent had to fact check it. We'll get to that as well. That he's saying that the United States is directly at war with Russia, and we have troops fighting Russian troops. American troops are fighting Russian troops. That's what you're about to hear Tucker Carlson say. It's not true. That's not what the documents show. The documents do show, however, Ukrainian offensives that are being planned, and now Russia has that information. Jack Teixeira is not a hero. Russia now has information where they can more effectively prepare a defense to this upcoming Ukrainian offensive. And by the way, just in case you're curious, and then we'll get to this first clip, another thing that was in these documents is that the United States surveils, spies on its allies, which I think we all knew that was happening, but that's causing some unhappy individuals on the world stage, we'll say, as far as our allies go. But starting off with this moment from Tucker Carlson.
We know that they're lies because late last week, leaked intelligence about the war in Ukraine began to appear on social media. Briefing slides prepared by the U.S. government began to show up, among other places, on Twitter. And the slides show that this is, in fact, not Ukraine's war. It's our war. The United States is a direct combatant in a war against Russia. As we speak, American soldiers are fighting Russian soldiers.
False.
So this is not a regional conflict in Eastern Europe. This is a hot war between the two primary nuclear superpowers on Earth. And yet this war has never been formally declared. It has not been authorized by Congress. And for that reason, this war is a violation of American law. It is a crime.
And that's the point, so that he can have his audience get to believe Biden to be this big criminal. And as I noted, a Fox News correspondent had to fact check this. Now, before we get to her, here's what she actually is directly fact checking, but it's the same narrative, which is Marjorie Greene. Jack Teixeira is white, male, Christian, and anti-war. That makes him an enemy to the Biden regime. No, he is just being held accountable because he leaked classified documents, and that's a crime. Do they think? What would be the point of classified documents if it wasn't something that was against the law to leak them? Now, before I read the rest of this tweet, in case this is a criticism that comes my way, I recognize there are times, as has happened in the past, where an action like this, whenever talking about a leak of classified information, if it's uncovering an atrocity of the U.S. government, something the American people need to know, and you cross that line because it's so justified, that's not at all what's going on here. To bring up past examples of it being justified just does not at all relate to what's going on here, because I agree, those situations exist, but this is not one of them. He's putting in danger people and causing needless conflict to look cool. This is not some hero, and he's not exposing what they think he is. But continuing. And he told the truth about troops being on the ground in Ukraine and a lot more. Ask yourself, who is the real enemy? A young, low-level National Guardsman, or the administration that is waging war in Ukraine, a non-NATO nation against nuclear Russia without war powers? So that's not happening. But when she says, who's the real enemy? A young, low-level National Guardsman? While enemy, I can't really derive enough meaning from that word. But criminal? Yeah. In this situation, he's the criminal being discussed here. That's how that works. But then Jackie Heinrich responded to that tweet. She's a Fox News correspondent saying U.S. troops are not fighting in Ukraine. NSC's John Kirby tells Fox there's a small military presence at the embassy in conjunction with the defense attache's office, working on accountability of material not providing battlefield support. And she is correct on this. Obviously, wouldn't trust the word of just an individual at Fox, but it is backed up by the actual evidence, which is not something Marjorie Greene is concerned with. And it's funny to see someone at Fox having to correct her, and thus another person at Fox, Tucker Carlson, which is why that particular thing there was notable to me. But it makes sense that we have military members at our embassy in a country. Yes, that is not controversial, gotta tell you. And as long as we're not directly engaging with Russian soldiers, we're not fighting on the battlefield, then it's just not true what they're saying. It's just not accurate. But their job is to be against Biden. Whatever they have to do to make that a reality, they will do it. More from Tucker Carlson's monologue here.
So what's happening to this leaker now is what happens to anyone who contradicts the national security state and their obedient servants in the media. You go to prison so the media can continue to tell you lies.
No, you go to prison if you break laws, Tucker. And actually, Tucker understands that this is against the law. This is 2017 Tucker Carlson.
Dysfunction, and all over allegations that Vladimir Putin somehow hacked our democracy on behalf of Donald Trump. Yet after all this time, the only actual crime that have surfaced during the course of this scandal appear to have been committed not by the president, but by his opponents, who have leaked reams of classified material in order to hurt him. That's a felony, by the way, and it's happened a lot. Some weeks, almost every day.
It's a felony. So why are you saying this is the Biden administration trying to go after someone for telling the truth, or as Marjorie said, being white, male, and Christian and anti-war? Because you understand it's against the law. And when things are against the law, sometimes this crazy thing happens where people are arrested for it if it's a criminal violation. But as I said, this is another way they can attack Biden. So of course they're going to do it.